Hello everybody, I hope you're doing fantastically well. It is Connor here and we are back with your, it's something a little bit different. It's something called International Watch, and I'm going to try and keep this up for the next maybe week or two just to see our new boys in action, because guys, we've got internationals everywhere now, which is amazing to see. I counted a ridiculous amount the other day. I think it's 9, 10, could be more if you include like Alioski, which obviously you would include, but you know, you're naturally thinking of the big European teams and stuff. So it's a different trajectory to what Leeds are on right now, but it's really exciting. You know, we are gone from the days of Jimmy Kebe, Noel Hunt and all that lot, and we are now a fully fledged international lineup who are just looking very, very good at this moment in time. And guys, if you haven't already, please slap a like on the video. If you're not subscribed, there's about 50% of you who watch my content who aren't subscribed. Please do us a big favour. I think I've uploaded every single day now for 3 months. Hit a subscribe on there, give us a little bit of a donation on the PayPal. We've got more coming on the Patreon this week as well. Some Premier League content which I think you'll like. As well, yeah, we're looking to distribute some merchandise very soon, so there will be a link in the description below with that if you want to go check that out. Some good stuff, we spent a long time looking at it, so yeah, make sure you go check that out. Cop yourself some One Leeds merch, and let's get on to it. Well, the big news last night was Spain were playing Portugal. Turkey were playing Germany. You know, we're all wrapped in what our internationals are doing now. We've seen that with England and Calvin Phillips. But there's a bit of an enigma at this moment in time with Diego Llorente, and that's why I wanted to focus on him. That's why I focused on the video yesterday, what to expect, how he can fit into this Leeds United team. So go check that out, please, if you haven't already. If you don't know that much about Diego Llorente, that might be a video that helps. But overall, I watched Spain-Portugal last night, and I was absolutely over the moon. Yeah, there were some absolutely fully fledged brilliant performances last night, and I watched the game, Spain versus Portugal. As I've just said, it was a very inexperienced lineup when it comes to the back line. You know, you look at Manchester City's Eric Garcia, you look at obviously Llorente, who you probably would class as experienced, but he's not had a lot of game time, as you've seen with Leeds United when he's joined. So it was a surprise that he actually got in the national team and started the game. It is just so obvious that there is such a pedigree behind this kid, because, you know, Luis Enrique, obviously former boss of Barcelona, now in charge of Spain, clearly sees this kid as being part of his future plans. And for me, in the near coming future, and starting the next friendlies, it's going to be Sergio Ramos lining up with Diego Llorente. Take that in. Also, as I've mentioned before, a quick mention to Rodrigo, who, for me, you know, I think Llorente got an 8 out of 10. Rodrigo got an 8 out of 10, but for that first half, he was the best player on the pitch, including Cristiano Ronaldo, cutting inside, some brilliant efforts on the right as well, cutting inside on his left. Definitely an alternative position for Marcelo Bielsa to think about if Helder Costa isn't on form, if Rafinha isn't on form. It's exciting, isn't it? It really is exciting times, the amount of pedigree, the amount of elite options we have now, and obviously that what comes with that, depth. And the depth is just insane that Leeds United have now, but he kept cutting inside, did Rodrigo, firing shots in, he was physical, he was blocking the ball off, and he was marshalling his man and all this sort of stuff. Just quality offensive play, making darting runs, passing it out to the flanks. He was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. I was looking on Twitter throughout the game, and the English outlets were saying how good he was playing, and it was just great to see that it wasn't just Leeds fans sort of adoring the performance, and you know, they came out afterwards and were saying Leeds fans have got so many things to be excited for with Llorente and Rodrigo. But yeah, he was fantastic. He was brought off on 45 minutes. Maybe that's instructions from Marcelo Bielsa, I highly doubt it, or to just preserve him for the next couple of games. But he really was fantastic. And with Llorente, 20 million for a 27-year-old, it's fabulous business by Victor Orta. It's fabulous business by Leeds United as a collective. Ronaldo was quiet. He hit the bar, don't get me wrong, but you expect that throughout a game from Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the best player in the world. There was a brilliant, brilliant episode where Ronaldo did one of his usual quick runs, quick feet towards Llorente, stood him up, nicked him, got the ball, kicked it out for a throw. But it was brilliant defending. He was completely isolated against the best dribbler for me in the world, aside from Rafinha, Cristiano Ronaldo, and he was isolated one-on-one. And for him to beat him, as I was talking about yesterday, with that square on defending, doesn't defend laterally, square on, completely nullified him. And for me, throughout that game, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't get a sniff, hence why he was taken off rarely with 15 minutes to go. And it's crazy that obviously he's had no experience for Leeds. He's not played for Leeds. He's playing second fiddle to Robin and Cooper, and he's starting for Spain against Cristiano Ronaldo. in a massive, a massive rivalry, Spain versus Portugal, in an inexperienced lineup. And yeah, I just think it's absolutely brilliant that, as I've said before, we've got this depth, we've got this class, and for me, this kid, I was just so surprised. Obviously, I'd seen him for Sociedad, but I guess he's playing in a worse team with Sociedad. But for Spain, he's got elite players around him, and he just looked absolutely mustard. He looked brilliant. Now, from what I saw of the game as well, there's a couple of times where Ronaldo was trying to move on to Garcia, and that's what Ronaldo does extremely well. If he finds a weak link, he will exploit it with his sheer class. He was moving on to Eric Garcia in the box whenever there was a set piece, because Llorente was so dominant in the air and so brilliant at the back, and the distribution from his side was completely nullifying Portugal's play. The first half, it should have been at least 3 or 4-0 to Spain. Llorente sort of had his feet up, was kicking back, but for me, that's even more impressive, because when he's fired into action, when Ronaldo's running at him, when you're getting Diego Jota running at him, this is when he comes to life. This is when his focus and concentration is pivotal as a centre-half. This is pivotal if what we need from Leeds United is to be sustained throughout the season. We have to have concentration, even if we are dominating a game. He did this to an unbelievable effect every single time. And this is it. With Ronaldo, he was running at him a couple of times. There was one instance, I think, in the entire game where he megged him, but Llorente still got back. But it was this weird sort of square stance that Llorente does. Not a lateral stance, a square stance. And it sort of inhibits the striker from actually taking a pot shot, because you square on, you've got more surface area around the ball and around the opposition player. Your lateral Ronaldo can cut inside quickly, take a strike. He couldn't do that with Llorente. Kept nicking the ball off him, and it was an absolute masterclass. And as I said on my Twitter this morning, keys, wallet, phone, Ronaldo, Llorente's back pocket. But the second half, we saw Portugal coming into it a little bit more. Ronaldo was getting hold of the ball a lot more. As you can see, as we saw, Spain were dominant in the first half. Portugal came into it a little bit more, as expected, in the second, but it just wasn't working. They weren't able to click. But it was just brilliant to see him as part of that sort of outlet and as part of that Spanish team. And when Ramos came on, I just had a big smile on my face. Because the thing is, Llorente's only going to profit from that. He's only going to profit from the next 2 games playing. Rodrigo's only going to profit. Robin's only going to profit. We can go on and on and on. But when we're just focusing solely on Llorente, he's coming into this Premier League campaign with Leeds United. He needs to be playing up against elite players before he starts in Bielsa's 11. And I think he's going to get closer and closer. And whoever's going to come out, I don't know. But there is no chance, and I will say this now, that kid is going to be on the bench the full season. He's far too good. What just impressed me more than anything as well was what we were talking about yesterday on the player profiles, about his intensity, his aggression. Anytime Ronaldo was coming at him, straight at him, on the ball, he's intense. Wants to get the ball out, 1 touch, 2 touch, get the ball in that next phase, in that next transition, so his team can go and attack, which is obviously the philosophy and the transition similarities that happen in a Bielsa side. And you could just continuously see this after phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and he was absolutely pivotal to that. If he wasn't pivotal to that, he'd have been taken off. If he wasn't pivotal to that, he wouldn't be starting. He wouldn't be getting such a high match rating. But Enrique believes in him so much, he kept him on for the full 90, and I thoroughly believe he's going to be partnering Sergio Ramos in future games and hopefully future competitions to come. But talking about Rodrigo, we've just illustrated what a brilliant half Llorente had. We spoke about Rodrigo a little bit as well. He was just phenomenal for me, and as I've already illustrated, he definitely was Rodrigo's game for me. Llorente did very, very well, but going forward he was frightening, and you can see he's in that Bielsa way. Confidence is growing. Sheffield United, Man City, Portugal versus Spain now. You cannot keep him out of that lineup. And we're all talking about a Cam. We're all talking about a right winger in Rafinha. It's just so exciting now, because the positions are just, as I keep saying, filled with quality. And now it's going to be a real selection dilemma for Marcelo Bielsa, because you cannot keep Rodrigo out of this side. He's too good, his confidence is increasing, his fitness is evidently increasing, and his whereabouts in this Leeds United side is getting better and better. That Enrique system is sort of a replica of the Bielsa system as well. And, people like Llorente, people like Rodrigo are just going to benefit from that. Are certain players going to come out? Are certain players going to come in? I certainly think so. He's going to have a selection headache now. You've got Hernandez who can come back in. Is Rodrigo going to be starting instead of Roberts? Is Llorente going to be playing instead of Robin or Cooper? you know, what's going to happen? There's so many different eventualities. You've got Rafinha as well. Is he going to come in for Costa? So many ideas now. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you do think about this, what you think is going on with the selection lineup. And yeah, go back and check it out, because your boys were unbelievable last night. And I'm so happy for the players that we've got underway at Leeds United. It just illustrates what a fantastic window we have had. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. As I said, there will be a link to the merchandise in the description below. Go cop yourself one. Honestly, we've got crew necks, we've got hoodies, we've got mugs, we've got t-shirts, all on there now. I'm gonna keep it at those 4, and there's a limited edition on there, so go check it out. I've only stuck with navy because I wanted it to be premium, and I wanted it to look really good on the badge as well. And the navy sort of correlates with the One Leeds badge really nicely. So go check out that. The link will be in the description below. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in a bit.